Hey everybody, welcome to Gootz's Disney Pod. Welcome to a new episode. It's Alien and Predator season. We're up to Aliens and back again. Joining me for the second week in a row is Kevin Gootee. Kevin, how are you, man?
Gootz, it's a goddamn pleasure as always, my friend. Good to see you. Glad to be back.
You're a back-to-back guest. It's very rare on this show, but you're living it up. So, how was your week?
It's good, man. It's good. Getting ready to go on vacation in the next little bit, so I'm glad we're going to end out this week with a bang. We're hanging out with my buddy talking aliens.
Yeah. Did you watch any movies this week or not really?
I'm watching right as we speak. I cut out of work early to do some stuff here. I'm watching The Black Phone, yeah, which
Oh,
is
how is that?
well, it's a story of Boost Mobile. Just kidding. No, it's it's all right. You know what? It's weird. I don't know, man. Now that I have a kid, like I get really like anxious, not anxious, but just very. I don't like watching films about kidnapping kids anymore. Not that I liked it to begin with, but
Yeah.
it really kind of it resonates more with me, and it
Mhm.
just gives me this certain agita. I go, oh god damn it. Anyway,
Yeah,
I
that's why
hate seeing shit like
a lot of Stephen King when he had his kids, a lot of the horror was about kids getting killed or kidnapped. Because he goes like, the only thing that scares me now that I'm a dad is something happening to my kid. I don't give a shit if something happens to me or my wife. But like my
right.
kid is like he goes like that's the real fear. So that's when things started happening to kids in his books. He's like, this is the only thing I'm afraid of. So I imagine the audience would be afraid of it too.
Yeah, I just don't like it's just I
Yeah,
don't
me
like
too.
seeing I can watch it, don't get me wrong, but I'm sitting here with a different looking with a different lens now. You're like, God damn, there are creeps out there in this world who do this shit, and God, God forbid something like that ever happened to one of my friends or myself or whatever. It would be like a lynch mob, like going after Michael Myers, but
Yeah.
unlike that, we would bring shotguns and kill him, unlike him escaping that throng of people at the end of the second Halloween film, which sucked donkey dick.
Oh,
But
Halloween Kills, big piece of shit. I'm dreading
horrible.
Halloween Ends. Yeah, the worst part is like in the real world, a lot of people get away with this and then get a developmental deal with Nickelodeon, and then they create iCarly.
Zing!
So
Look at you.
that's the worst part.
Fresh from the gym, the testosterone's flying, and so the jokes. That's my
Yeah,
buddy.
there you go. So I watched like I hadn't seen Aliens in full in years, even though I do love the movie. I hadn't seen it full in years until last night. I got to watch it in full.
Hmm.
And man, I just feel people always say like people. The argument is that they've just been trying to recreate Star Wars for the last 50 years.
Right.
I would say for the last 35 years, they've been trying. Every movie's been trying to capture this one. That's what I think.
The closest one to come with success,
Mhm.
but it's different,
Yeah,
is Starship Troopers.
yeah, and
It's
that
not.
is very different.
Yeah, very. It's not campy. It's not tongue in cheek. I love Verhoeven. Verhoeven is a goddamn genius. So underrated.
Mhm.
RoboCop, Total Recall, and Starship Troopers. I absolutely love those. They gloriously passed the remote test for me. But
Oh,
you're
I,
right.
I rewatched RoboCop recently, and that is probably one of the best '80s films of all time. What a
100%, 100%. We had a guy come on Gutting the Sacred Cow recently and try and do that, and he looked like Murphy did when Boddicker and those guys found him right before he became RoboCop. We blew him apart. That film is rock solid, save for the shitty Ed 209 effects
Mhm.
and the sound effects when it squeals like a stuck pig or a baby. But the story is great. Boddicker is one of the top henchmen of all time and one of the best 80s villains of all time.
Oh, he's so good. He's
100%.
just a classic '80s villain. But this movie, man, like just everything about I've always forget because I saw this out year. I didn't see this in theaters. When was the first time you saw this movie? If you don't mind me asking.
No, I don't mind you asking. Boy, it came out in '86. I was 9. My parents had a hard and fast rule about me not seeing R-rated films until I was older, unless they saw it first. Um, I probably saw it. I mean, I don't know. I probably saw it when I was like a teenager, early teens or whatever, on VHS. And
Mhm.
when I saw it, I was instantly in love. I said, "Holy shit!" And I think I saw this before Alien. I don't remember. If anything, I did see the TV version of it first because that's how, again, my parents were a little bit
Yeah,
more sticklers with that. But I loved it as a kid. And as an adult, rewatch it. And every time it's on cable, every time I catch it, I jump right in there.
yeah.
That's why, like I said before on your other podcast when we talked Alien, I can't do that with Alien. I want to be invested with the whole mood, the setting, the
Mhm.
tone, and all that. With this, I can pick this film up anywhere and get and just jump right in for the ride.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a fucking ride. All the characters are distinct, and like the one thing about Alien is that the characters aren't very distinct in the original Alien.
Very much
Like
so.
you kind of know them because of the actors they become, like Yaphet Kotto, Homicide: Life of the Street, or the dad
Fucking
from Ready.
live and let die. Come
Live
on,
and
how
Let
dare
Die
you?
as well. Yes, yes. I've never seen that one. I still haven't seen all the Bond films.
The Roger Moore ones are bad. Live and Let Die is the best of that lot, and
Mhm.
it's not that good, but the other ones get progressively worse. I'm a Connery snob, unabashed, and Daniel Craig is number two, and that's not even up for debate.
Well, I'll tell you, I've never seen A View to a Kill, The Man
Terrible.
with the Golden Glove, Gun,
Not
and Live
that
and Let
bad.
Die.
That's not that bad either.
I
It's not
did,
that.
I did see. My favorite Roger Moore movie is the one everybody hates, and maybe it won't still be my favorite, but
Octopussy?
no, that one's terrible. So is For Your Eyes
Moonraker?
Only. Moonraker, yeah,
Oh, For Your Eyes Only is decent. I like that one. That one's decent. It's
yeah,
It's
yeah.
pal.
My favorite was Moonraker, and I don't remember. I don't remember it actually being good. It was just like very watchable.
Nah, all the villains except for Live and Let Die are completely unmemorable
Mm,
in all the Roger Moore films.
yeah.
Walken was bad. The Drax, he was terrible. Was that the Moonraker? The old guy, I forgot his name. The guy who lived underwater, and that was For Your
Oh
Eyes
yeah,
Only.
The Spy Who Loved Me.
Right, that one. Yeah, sure. So those two kind of Spy Who Loved Me and For Your Eyes Only kind of meshed together for me. And but yeah, Moore had a Golden Gun was actually Scaramanga, which Christopher Lee, obviously from Darth Sidious,
Dark City and the Hammer Dracula films. Yes,
and of course Sauron from Lord of the Rings. But
yes.
that he was a decent villain. The plot itself sucked. But yeah, those Moore films are bad, really bad, and he's just so campy. All right, whatever. And then it gets cartoonishly, insanely. They have a character in there, a sheriff from the South, who's as stereotypical and, of course, blatantly, horrendously like racist beyond like wow. Like no one even said shit in the '70s. The stuff he was saying in a PG film then, it's bold,
Wow.
but it's not good.
That's in Live and Let Die, right?
He's in a couple of them. He's on vacation again on another Bond film. I forgot which one it was. So
Oh
you'll
yeah, yeah. I still have to rewatch all the Bond films. I haven't even seen all the Sean Connery ones, if you believe it or not.
shame on you. Well, look, Diamonds Are Forever sucks, and the one that no one ever mentions is it Tomorrow. The one he did with Kim Basinger. That's not a
Never Say Never Again, which isn't an
never say
official
never.
Bond movie. Yes.
No, it's not. But it's a cheap knockoff of Thunderball, which is my personal favorite Bond film.
Oh,
Thunderball is
okay.
my favorite.
So far, my
Goldfinger
favorite
number two. Doctor
is
No and
Casino
Doctor No.
Royale from
Love it.
2000.
That's in my top five. Yeah, Skyfall's in there too. The new one was great. It's I think it's three or four Connerys and all but Spectre sucked and Quantum of Solace sucked for Craig. The other three are fantastic.
Yeah. So I think the reason why this movie works and why Alien and Aliens are a perfect like double feature is that it doesn't try to be Alien. Nothing in this movie tries to capture that first movie. It is like it makes sense though. It's not jarring. It's you're basically taking a character from a horror film and now you're moving her into an action film.
Right.
And it just works and it just builds upon that first movie so well. I think it's one of the best. I would argue it's in the top three greatest sequels of all time.
This Empire and the next and Terminator 2.
Mm-hmm. And Godfather 2, I guess, you know.
All right, sure.
Yeah.
I prefer one, but I mean two is fantastic.
Yeah. Two's another one that builds
Yeah. I'm with
upon the
you.
world. Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. But
But yeah,
yeah, I would say this is just one of the best sequels because it's an action film. And even though like, the aliens are getting shot down, like I mean like a ton of aliens. It was so hard to kill the first alien. This movie that they like kill. But even when they're killing the aliens, it's still kind of backfiring on them. Like they like half the crew die before they even figure out how to kill the first alien.
right.
You know?
The acid got a few of them misfires.
Mhm.
The one dude with the flamethrower turns around and cooks some of the squadron. Yeah, you're right. It's and that you're exactly right. And I say it works because even the tertiary characters, you got Hicks, You
Mhm.
got
Bill
what
Paxton, game over,
Paxton?
man.
You know, oh come on, he's so memorable. Even Vasquez, and I love this is 80s action cliches, and I fucking love him. He goes, "Oh Vasquez, you're so bad," and she slaps him in the face. I'm like, yes, that's that 80s cheese I love. By the way,
Yes.
the woman who played Vasquez, Aliens, T2 and Lethal Weapon 2. I mean, in some and Lethal Weapon 2, another fantastic sequel. That's got to be in the conversation as well.
Okay.
She's in two Cameron films and another action film and playing these completely different roles. A mom of an adopted kid, a police officer, and now a badass heavy machine gunner. But I got a kick out of seeing. So I forgot about her. When I saw her pop on screen again, that she was in a lot of those action films.
Yeah, and the other thing about this movie that they try so hard with Captain Marvel, and they try so with a lot of these. First of all, can I just say I love the fact that the past few years they've been acting like women as the leads in action films is this major new thing. They're breaking such new ground. Dude, Aliens did it first and did it better than all of those fucking movies. There's
Right.
basically two women are I mean, yeah, two
Princess
women are
Leia,
basically
you can argue Princess Leia was really the start, although she didn't do much. I mean, she did a couple of things in Star Wars.
Mhm.
Empire, she was more of a higher ranking officer and shit.
Yeah.
Jedi, she gets in the mix. I could argue her.
Yeah, you could, but Sigourney Weaver is like she basically becomes she's basically John McClane by the end of this movie.
Sure. Sure.
And Vasquez too is fucking great. I mean, she goes down swinging. She's basically, she's shooting aliens until she dies and blows up. Like, fucking Brie Larson barely breaks a nail in that stupid movie, and they want to throw her a fucking parade. This is how you do women in action films.
Or I can even say, how about Angelina Jolie, early 2000s? I mean, Tomb Raider, Laura Croft, for Christ's sakes, and Wanted. She did that film. She was an act. She was a good actor. And shit, I tell you what. I mean, you would argue Ray from the last three shitty sequels, another before Captain Marvel. But I gotta say, the one action film that doesn't get the due it deserves is Atomic Blonde with Charlize Theron. She
Oh,
whips
I've never
ass.
seen that.
Oh, it's so good. It's very good, and she's you get to see her topless a couple of times if you're into that sort of thing like I am. But she kicks ass. It's a great film. You can watch it anytime. It's solid. Totally love it. Give that a watch.
So for the four people who've never seen Aliens but decided to listen to my Aliens podcast, which I don't know who you are, the plot it's actually pretty basic. Ripley gets picked up. It's 57 years later. She kind of like pulls a Captain America. Um, they tell her that she's full of shit. They didn't. There was no evidence of alien. She kind of gets like screwed over by her bosses. But then they reveal that there's families living on the what do you say? Was it a planet or an asteroid? What do you think they? It's like a planet.
Planet. Let's just call
Yeah,
it Planet.
there's families living around that area where they found the first alien. Paul Reiser shows up and says there we lost contact with the families. We got to go in there. Um, we got colonial marines. She first says no, fuck you, and then decides to go back. They go to the planet. They don't find anybody, and all hell breaks loose. It's pretty much a good summary of the plot, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then also, James Cameron did not take my suggestion, retroactively, of having people waking up in floating puddles of piss and shit and having mullets as they awoke from their interspace sleep. Again, details. Here's another character I love. The fucking sergeant. I love the guy.
Oh,
That
he's
guy.
great.
He's a. That's a sergeant. You're like, yeah, I could go fight for him. But then you have other guys like the lieutenant or the sergeant, actually the sergeant, excuse me, in Speed. Also, the same guy who is Miles Dyson in Terminator 2. He's an asshole. Like I
Mhm.
love the commanding officers. You're like with that certain. They're edgy, but that is a little sanded off, and they're funny and quite cheeky in their approach and ball busting. I love that sergeant. It was a Pone was his name, the character. And it was a
Yes.
goddamn shame to see him get wasted. I forgot how he gets wasted in that first wave when they walk in there and really
Yeah,
see
because he's
this.
like such a likable character. But I think that's why I think that's important because then it tells you like nobody's safe in this movie. I know you like that guy. He got
Well, they got to give Michael Bean a chance to become a leader as well. So that's how they ixnay him and then thrust Bean into a leadership role.
yes. Who is great by the way. He's one of the most underrated guys. I mean, You talk about two classic action films, and he's the lead in Terminator and this.
Well, don't
And I don't
forget
think he gets
Johnny
his
Johnny
just due.
Ringo, Johnny Ringo and Tombstone.
Oh, I've never seen Tombstone.
Oh, really? You
Yeah,
That's shocking.
I know, right? I do have to see that. That is a weird one.
Val Kilmer getting hosed playing the best supporting character role I've ever seen.
And then not getting he didn't get an Oscar nomination, right?
No.
That poor guy. And now he can't even like make it up for it because he can't talk, right? Is that what's going on?
Barely. If you saw that documentary on Amazon, you go, I learned two things. A, he loves to have turquoise jewelry, and B, he can't. He needs the cancer kazoo to talk, and it's rough. And
Yeah, that sucks.
but that's what you get when you thumb your nose in the face of science, because he's one of those the Christian Science monitors. What are they called again? Where they don't believe in modern medicine?
Oh, he's one of those.
Yeah, he's one of those.
Well, that's what you get. That's what happens. Poor Val Kilmer. But no, I never saw Tombstone. But yeah, he's such a good actor, and no one ever gives him his due. And he's like, and the Tombstone's another movie I've heard constantly people say how much they love. Actually, that's a Disney film, so I can cover that one day.
There you go. The only problem I have with Tombstone is it's out of place the way the story takes place. You
Mm-hmm.
think when they have the fight at the gunfight at the OK Corral, that's the end of the movie. It's not. There's another half hour and 45 of fuckery after that, which I thought was. But Kurt Russell, I mean, again, I can watch him read the fucking phone book. Val Kilmer is amazing in this.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the guy with the real gravelly voice and the mustache? God damn,
Sam Waterston or
no, no,
Sam
no, 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 no. James something, I think it is.
James Coburn.
No, 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 no. Sam. He does all the Coors Light commercials.
He was in A Star Is Born, right?
Yeah, he's a Roadhouse. He's in a ton of stuff.
Yes, yes, yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah, he's great.
I'm blanking on his name, but yeah, he's in it
Yeah.
too. It's a great cast of characters. The guy who directed Rambo 2 did this as well.
Hey, I have to tell you, I know you like movies. I found them. My friend told me about this movie. Said never heard of it before.
Mm-hmm.
It came out in 1980. He's watched it. He goes, I can't believe how good it is. I went. It's not available digitally. My friend goes, the ending is really fucked up. He goes, I think they buried this movie on purpose. I went and got it and I watched it. And I'm trying to think. Okay, it's the equivalent of being in a universe where someone goes to you, have you ever heard this movie Back to the Future? It kind of bombed. Nobody really saw it, but I just got the DVD of it. And you put it on, like it's 2022. You put it on, and you're like, how the fuck is nobody talking about this movie? And the movie that I'm talking about is this film called Out of the Blue. It's written and directed by Dennis Hopper. And it came out in 1980. And
Really?
it is so fucked up and it's so fucking good. And I don't understand how this movie didn't win Oscars. I don't understand how Dennis Hopper's not quoted. Like there's a couple lines Dennis Hopper gives that the girl is fucking fantastic and she went nowhere. It is like fucking bizarre that this movie is just no one knows it. It's called Out of the Blue. You have a Blu-ray player?
Yeah, I have several. Yeah, I look to see on Netflix because I actually get ready to laugh. I still get Netflix DVDs because
Oh wow.
their library is much better than the streaming shit.
Yeah. Is
So
you can rent it on Netflix?
I can't. It's not on. I just see it. I
Yeah,
just want to go. I look to see it. You can't get it
I
on
had to
this.
buy it. I had to order it, and it's really good, dude. It's really really good. It Think Pretty in Pink meets Taxi Driver.
Yeah. Holy shit! Raymond Burr was in this.
Yeah, he's in it. It's really weird that like this went nowhere. Like it couldn't get a distributor. It played two theaters, and then it was never on video in the United States until just now.
I'm gonna have to borrow that from you.
Yeah, isn't that it's fuck? I'm watching it, and I'm like, how is this? It's literally like The Godfather. Just nobody saw The Godfather, and then you find it 50 years later. You're like, wait a minute, am I living in the correct reality? Because this should be a fucking classic. That's how good this movie is. It should be
I'll
a
keep my
classic.
eye. Yeah.
Yeah. But back to aliens. What is like what is like some of your favorite scenes, favorite characters?
Oh my God! If it, you, Bill Paxton, without question. I mean, he's got the shitty, again, the shitty, cheesy jokes. Like someone said alien, she thought illegal alien. Like,
Oh
all right,
Jesus.
zing. And then of course, again, Ape Apone. Assholes and elbows. I love shitty. It's like it's a very fine line for me. I love some of those action movie like military quotes, like assholes and elbows, people. But then you go and you watch some other military films, like oh god, like Stripes. We just did on our podcast, and they have a few of those in there. You go, ugh, yuck. But
Yeah, I never was
shit
a big
like
fan of Stripes.
it does not. I never liked it, and it still isn't good. It
Yeah.
drags the end. The half. No one can argue the third act is off the rails, insane, and it's not that funny. Bill Murray is doing an impression of Bill Murray characters in other films. That's what I
Yes.
feel, and it's not. The jokes are just that. Uh,
Yeah,
what
I agree.
What else? Oh, when they found Newt, I would have when she's just pretending to be autistic for a hot minute. That'd been great if she pulled a move like Linda Blair in The Exorcist and just pisses on the desk when she's sitting there when they're talking to her, like, "What's the matter with you?" And then Sigourney Weaver's like, "Hey, what's going on? How are you?" And she started talking like a normal person. It was just so funny how the contrasting viewpoints. But then again, like I said, it'd be great if she just pissed down her leg on that
Yeah.
desk. Another one. Stop your grinning and drop your linen. Again, shitty cliches that are so missed in action films as guys from the 80s and 90s. But like we grew up on that, and
Mm-hmm.
I love it. When they get jumped by the aliens the first time, you're like, God damn. And they have all the cool weapons that they didn't have in the first one. But again, in the first one, it was like a science expedition. No need. Why would they have those weapons? But in here, they're Marines. They're locked and loaded. You get these huge pulse rifles. Everyone's got shotguns, grenades. You're like, yes, this is an action film.
You can see so much Doom took from this. Um, there's fucking like Contra took from this fucking so many video games took from this movie.
100%.
Yeah.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love the line with Newt. I wrote this down. She goes, right when so I forgot what happened. He goes, well, I guess we're not leaving now. You think so, you little shit? Like no one's.
I guess we're not.
I guess we're not leaving now. Like
I think
yeah,
we'll just walk it. We'll be okay, Newt.
yeah. 85% of the people here are dead. I guess we're not leaving now. Like you little cunt. I'm gonna, I would say I'd throw you back in that pile of aliens, but you survived for 3 weeks without it, so no big deal. But I tell you what, Bill Paxton, I love him in this film. He is a bitch. Like, he is a bitch in this film. Very cowardice. He must be
but
part of the ROTC program. He's not a
but you know what?
real
I
true
like
Marine.
that about him because he's there to basically give the audience doubt. Like maybe they're not going to pull this off.
Right.
Because he basically keeps going, we're fucked, and that's kind of how someone would be if confronted by these creatures.
But as a Marine, like you're just taught not to have any emotions. I mean, I
I
know
know.
guys, you're brainwashed, and they're just
Well,
like, we're
these
gonna
are woke
fucking.
Marines. This is the future.
1986 had that shit. Oh
Well,
no,
no,
we're
no,
gonna.
it's in the future, so
Oh, you're right. Oh, that's right. I didn't. That's good catch, Gootz. Um, I was very. I forgot about how Burke fucked him. Not once when he threw them in the room with the alien, and then but twice when he escapes and shuts the door. And go, what a colossal piece of shit. And I was very disappointed. How you'd think if he was such an asshole, they would give him a graphic, bloody death. Instead, you see the alien, the mouth open, the mouth and shoot out, and a spray of arterial blood like arc across the room. Like you should see him gored, like ripped
Oh
apart,
yeah,
his heart
he
ripped
should have
out.
got a death like Bishop got.
Oh, 100, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Where he got drawn and quartered pretty much. Yeah, that was the cheap death for a way who was such a fucking asshole.
yeah. Also, I wonder if James Cameron casting him as the villain because he was just a comic back then. He wasn't
Right.
like an actor. That was all because man, he's a great fucking villain. He is just the perfect villain for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's about 30% of the New York comedy bookers that we know. He has the same qualities.
Dude, I would love. Who would be great? Like as like if they ever like if they want to cast a comic as a villain, I think Sam Morril would be great as a character like this.
That's a good call. Yeah, it's funny because Reiser played Eddie Murray's. Eddie Murray is a baseball player for the Orioles. He
Yeah.
played Murphy's dopey cop buddy in Cop One, and
Mhm.
then this came out, and then Cop Two came out a year later. So it's like funny how he's comedy,
And then he just
asshole
became a dad
comment.
on Mad
Exactly.
About You and My Two
Right.
Dads. Then he, but I'm glad I didn't watch Stranger Things. I don't know if you're still watching it, but I am glad
I
they brought him back as a villain in Stranger Things. It's kind of like,
I bailed out after season 1. I couldn't give a shit.
yeah, I couldn't give a shit either. But I am glad that they brought him back as that type of character because I think he's very good at that type of character.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. The action, this is great. So you asked my favorite scenes. That's one. Paxton always on screen. I'm always down with that. The Sergeant Vasquez and again the shitty action cliches. Anytime you have that, and then the ultimate when Michael Biehn pops open the ceiling and sees them all coming at him, you're like,
Oh, that's
oh
such a good moment.
fuck, yeah. And they
That's
all
and
get
then the fight, and I think it's one of the best air duct air. There's so many air duct scenes now. I mean, every movie is a fucking air duct scene. That was probably the best air duct scene I think I've ever seen.
it's up there, sure.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I loved it. I love the color scheme. It just everything just feels like a video game brought to life. Like it just fucking. And this is before there were video games, so every video game just fucking. Well, the video games weren't advanced, but
right.
but it's just everything is just so fucking great. I mean, the power loader battle with the alien queen. The alien queen looks better than 90% of CGI out nowadays. It looks better than She-Hulk. I'll tell you that much.
Didn't watch it. Don't plan on it.
Dude, brutal. It was so bad.
Yeah, I have no desire. The one question I had, why is Ripley so worried about killing the queen if the goddamn planet's going to blow up in 5 minutes or whatever? She's sitting there torching eggs, and I understand she has to buy time to make her escape, but then she's hell-bent on killing the queen or whatever. I just, why? It's going to blow up. Get on the ship. Get the fuck out of there. I understand you're
Yeah,
going to build tension. Fine, but I'd have been out of there.
me too. I just would have been like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Plus, you gave the now that you blew up the eggs. That's probably when the queen was like, "Oh, I'm gonna fuck this bitch up." That was my kids.
Right, right,
Fuck you.
right.
Um, I gotta say, like, I always forget how much Newt and Ripley were because a lot of other movies it could have went cheesy, but that relationship really works in this movie between those two.
And and actually, watched the movies that made us. We had actually had the guy on who created that series. We did an interview. That's the only film that Newt acted in. She was a one and doneer.
Wow,
Yeah,
she was really good. You
yeah.
know, like, let me ask you this: I had watching this movie. I had a theory, and I'll see if you agree. I don't think Alien has ever recovered from Alien 3. I don't think the series has ever recovered from
Oh
it.
no, no, not
I
100%. Yeah, of course. I mean,
I
no,
I think
every,
one of the biggest mistakes in cinema history was killing Newton Hicks at the beginning of Alien 3.
I didn't even remember they did that.
Yeah, no, they do. And I think if you kept Newt alive and the next couple of movies are Ripley and Newt's adventures, I think these movies would still be making a ton of money. Maybe you have Newt become the alien hunter later on. And I'm so shocked that they never. It's been 30 years. You know, this is 30 years since Alien 3. They never fucking pulled a Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis where they're like, you know what? Everything else didn't count. You know, only aliens. Here's the real sequel.
Smart. Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember Rock, Charles S. Dutton was in that, and she shaved her head. That's all I remember about Alien 3. And some people are like, oh, yeah, Alien 3 is as good.
No.
And when I saw it, I go, that's laughable. I mean, they're two bonkers, again, two almost perfect films. I understand two can be deemed more cartoonish, but fuck, it works for me. What else? Here's something else, too. Did you notice the music they play when they're escaping the planet? That music is in every single action film trailer
I was
from the
about to say
80s
that.
and
Yes.
90s. For the guy who wrote that must be diving in Scrooge McDuck's
James
vault.
Horner. Yes.
James Horner. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, he's in the top 10 of composers, Mount Rushmore composers for sure. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. Man, he must have made an absolute fucking treasure trove from every single
Every time
action.
that music cue hits, nine other like I was loving this movie, but when the music cue hits twice, then dude, nine other movies popped in my head. Like they just all
Oh
like
yeah,
all these movies collide here because you've heard that music so many times, but it's so fucking good. It's so fucking good.
oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
iconic as all hell.
Mm-hmm.
I That doesn't happen. Sigourney Weaver climbing out of an airlock with the door wide open. She may be strong, but she's not. I'm in the middle of outer space strong where she could pull herself up out of an airlock. That was a bit excessive for me.
That was a bit excessive. Yes, I did like the fact that Bishop saved Newt though. I like that part.
Yeah, it was good.
That was
And
good.
another complaint too that we're gonna let the alien fly out of space, killing him again. I thought that was kind of like back to the
Oh yeah, I
well.
forgot that like they basically redo the ending of Alien.
Yeah, you had them in the suit, the yellow crane suit. She could have just cut his head off with that thing, or just choked him out, or whatever. And but that airlock thing, I go all those weapons on board too. They want to blow her to fucking Kingdom Come.
Yeah, but then the blood would have like destroyed the
Oh,
ship.
ate through the hole and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but all right, well then choke it. Who knows? But yeah, that's one thing I had a little bit of a. But again, other than that, I'm nitpicking. This film, I love when secondary and tertiary characters are memorable. This film is quotable as hell. The action is fantastic. You mentioned the special effects are still. This is 1986, people.
Hmm.
36 years later, and it's still like, yeah, it looks very, very crisp. I love it. 9 out of 10.
Oh yeah. So what keeps it from being a perfect 10? What would you say?
I said before with I can't. I said on your last podcast, Alien is a 9.5. I can't,
Okay.
and I said before, Alien is a better film. I can't have it better. I just prefer it more, but I can't have it better, and that's the only reason why.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I have to say, when I was younger, I liked Aliens more, but now that I've rewatched both, I do think Alien is just a tad bit better.
Sure.
There's parts of this movie that get a little bit cartoonish and over the top, whereas in Alien, everything is very grounded. Everything is very kind of realistic. I mean, as realistic as you can of a fucking alien. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, this movie does have a couple of moments where I'm like, I'm watching a cartoon. I love it. I love
Sure.
that I'm watching a car. It's a great cartoon that I watch over and over again. But yeah, you
This
know,
is prime, and this is prime Cameron too. This is smack in the middle, in between Terminator, T2. I hated the Abyss though. That was boring. And
never
this,
seen the Abyss. Did you like Titanic?
oof.
I can't stand Titanic.
I don't own it. I don't hate I don't hate it. I don't like it. I'm like, I know why people hate it. It takes forever to get to the stuff you want to see. You want to see the ship go down and then have to escape and all that. All the in between stuff is just I don't hate it, but I certainly am not gonna. It's like Batman Begins. I'm not gonna kill you, but I don't have to save you either, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I it's so depressing that his career was never the same after that movie. Oh.
I mean, Avatar was
Oh.
huge, but not as good.
Avatar's not that good. Are you excited for the new Avatar?
Not at all. The only
No.
reason, I mean, not one bit. I mean, it's Dances with Wolves with blue makeup. But listen, the first one I rewatched it. We did on the podcast 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and you watch it again. That's '09, and the effects are just perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. So I'll see the new ones only because I want to have that theater experience. Those are must-haves. You can't. I don't give a shit what kind of setup you have at home. Those are the reasons you go to the
Cameron
theater.
movies, you should go to the theater. Yes.
Yeah,
Cameron
yeah.
makes movies for the big screen.
Yeah, so you're gonna get my 15, $20, go see it in IMAX without question.
Well, I want to see.
3D.
I do want to see it in 3D because I feel like
Yeah, so
Avatar. If you don't, when you watch it in 3D, it's a whole different experience. One of the
if
few
you
movies.
have you been to Disney World yet and gone on the Avatar ride? It
I've
is
never been to Disney World. Period. Oh, the
insane.
Avatar ride's crazy.
It is worth it. I waited. There's a bar right there. I got two beers, stood in line, had my phone on, listened to podcasts. I waited in line for an hour and a half, 2 hours both times, and it's fucking worth it.
Wow, it's that good.
It's a VR ride. Like you move, the air blows on you, but you're on one of those bike things, and you're like on the back of those dragon things that they fly on. But it's it's great, worth
Wow.
it,
Okay.
worth it. But yeah, I'm not really looking forward to the film itself. I will see it, but I'm not circling that like I am the next Mission Impossible films. Let's put it like that,
Yes.
or John Wick 4.
Or John. Okay, John Wick 4. Okay. Um. Yeah. I mean, this one of my favorite scene I think in this movie is because actually, even though I forgot how they got out of this, and for a minute I'm like, well, how the fuck did she get out of this? The face hugger when he locks them in the room with the face hugger.
Right.
That scene I thought was just a lot of she's trying to break the glass with the chair.
Yep.
Just it was just a great that was a great tension filled scene. I love that scene.
And then using the lighter to get the attention because he turned the camera off. Again, when you see him turn the camera off, you're like, motherfucker!
Yeah,
What a
yeah,
piece of shit!
yeah. He
Yeah,
doesn't ever do. That's the other thing too that makes such a good villain. He doesn't do this big grand like, ah, my plan is. He just does these.
twirling his mustache with his finger.
Yeah, he just does these little things like we don't need to have that camera on, and then like he's like they don't. I'm just gonna lock this door. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't ever that, and that's what a real piece of shit would do in the real world.
Yeah, oh, 100%. Like
Yeah.
he's so many people. I want to drop names on this podcast, what kind of people they are that we know, but I won't.
Let
So
me
you don't
tell
have
you
to edit.
something. If an alien ever attacked the comedy club, the owner's getting out. We're not. I'll just say that. They'll literally go out of their way to make sure the alien eats us.
But
Even
I mean, I think if I said this before a million times, we had a list of films I thought were bulletproof for
Mhm.
gutting the sacred cow, and a ton of them had been knocked off that list. I Alien, Aliens. I beg someone to have the balls to try and come on here and not just to be contrarian, to
Yeah.
really truly hate either of these films. I fucking dare you. These films are beautiful. The stories are fantastic. They hold up in spades. Then
Mhm.
again, I said the same thing about Back to the Future, and some guy came on here also ate a razor blade dildo in his attempt to try and gut that film. Tried to do that. So watch it. 2 months from now, someone goes, "Oh yeah, Alien, not that good."
Oh yeah, you're gonna get that. It's funny. Nathan McIntosh, know him?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
He's a great comic. He
Mhm.
goes he goes like I just saw Nope in theaters. Nope's a movie about an alien. I'll tell you, it's a great movie about an alien. Alien.
And
Go see Alien. You should do whatever you can to see Alien. And someone's like, so I shouldn't see Nope? He goes, you should see Alien.
yeah.
He didn't like say it was bad, but he was like, everyone should just go see Alien.
And Aliens. It's
Yes.
as you said, the perfect double feature. You could easily slide those in back to back and chew up 4 hours of your day and feel quite satisfied.
It's really like if you've never seen these movies, it's a really amazing roller coaster ride because Alien is like a haunted house, and then Aliens is a roller coaster. I mean, but it's organic. It doesn't feel like suddenly like what the fuck is going on. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like sometimes when they change genres in a series, it's very like you know it whiplash. No, this is an organic. It goes from horror to action so organically. I fucking love it.
I just looked up who because I was going to ask you, but I have a computer in front of me. David Fincher did Alien 3.
Yeah, he disowned it.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. He
And
said the studio interfered.
Fincher's got a lot of good shit. I mean, I love oh my god, I'm blanking. The Game.
Mhm.
Oh, so good, so underrated. And he's got a lot of other good ones in there too, but Alien
Yeah,
I can't believe
it was his first feature film. He kind of was brought in as a hired gun and they barked orders at him. It wasn't really his movie. He says it's a piece of shit. He won't even like interview about it. It was like and like that's when he did Seven, he was like, I'm taking control of all my stuff. And look where he is now, you know?
yeah, I mean again, The Game,
Mhm.
Zodiac was decent. I
Fight
hated
Club. What do you think of Fight Club?
overrated as fuck.
Oh, really? I
One of
see.
the
I got
most
to rewatch
overrated
it. I loved
films
it back
of all
then.
time. We did in the podcast. We did in the podcast. Gone Girl is good. Seven is good. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I didn't hate it.
I
I
didn't
didn't think
see
it.
it.
I didn't think I and I saw the Swedish versions. I read all the books. I didn't think it was as bad as people thought it out to be. The Swedish versions are better, but it's not as bad as people say. Panic Room I said was good. Mank
You
that
know
was
what was good? The Social Network.
I yeah we did that in the podcast too. I like
I
it.
did not like Benjamin Button.
I turned it off. I bailed out. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, that to me is kind of. And I didn't see the one he made for Netflix. Again, I'm sorry, but I feel like when you make, I don't care how high budget the movie is or how many great actors you have. When you make a movie for Netflix, I feel like you're making a direct to DVD film, and I can't take it seriously.
I still have something to see on Netflix, a film, or on Amazon. We discussed this last time
Yeah,
on
we did.
Netflix or
Yeah,
Amazon. It was just nothing. Nothing's going. Yeah, that's you got to check it out. Nope, pass.
you know, no, but I almost feel like so Disney. I didn't see Prey. Everyone loves Prey though, and I really
Didn't
do think now I really do think whether I like it or you like it or not, Predator is definitely back. Like people want more Predator stuff now, you know?
But they did have it back a few years ago in that sequel, the whatever
The
Predators.
Predator, yeah.
Oh my god, that was
Yeah.
dog shit, terrible. Oh, it was laughable with the
Oh yeah,
plot.
yeah. No, it was bad, but I'm saying like overall the consensus is that people like Prey. But I wonder if someone at Disney knows the gold mine they're sitting on if they do Alien right. Because they're making, the future is they're making an FX show about Alien.
Oh.
And I'm just like, no, dude, fucking fix your mistake. Make a real sequel to Aliens.
I love
Erase.
your idea. I love your idea. What you just said about what they did with Halloween 2018. Like, nope, everything else after Halloween is bullshit.
Yeah,
Everything, and we're gonna
that.
redo it from there. So after Aliens, then we're gonna start from a tabula rasa and go from there.
You know what I thought? I thought because I was talking to Sean Donnelly and it hit my head because watch, both these movies, that corporation's trying to get a hold of the alien and they keep fucking it up. So what if in the last one they got an alien and
I
they
was just gonna
make a
say,
weapon with it,
yeah,
and then Newt and Ripley have to stop that weapon.
they make it their own version of like a live action Skynet, where Skynet
Yeah,
turns on them.
yeah, yeah. The alien turns on them, but they do something with the alien. They finally get their hands on it, and then like Newt and Ripley, and like Ripley could be like the older woman kind of guy, like almost like someone's like an old man, like Logan, like it's her last mission. But Newt is the one you get like a new. I'm sure you don't get the same girl, but you get like a big name.
Florence Pugh.
Yeah, plays Newt, and the movie is we've got to stop the Wheeland Corporation once for all. I think that could work, and just what, Alien 3 never happened. Alien Resurrection. Someone had a great. This one guy, my one friend had a great idea. He goes, "What's the last line in Aliens? Can I dream again? Yes, now you can dream."
Yeah,
So Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection was Newt's fucking dream.
kind of like what they did with Days of Future Past, where it's like, guess what? Alternate reality. Everything's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he
She
wakes
she,
up.
she dreamt it, and then they broke her up in the pod. It's years later. Now they gotta fight the alien one more time. I just
That's a great pitch, Goots. And
yeah, like
as long as they wake up again with mullet hair, and in
yes.
a puddle of piss and shit, because your body doesn't stop processing.
Well, now it's gonna be because it's gonna be how many years were they in that pod? So I mean, at this point, they're gonna be new. Michael Bean and Sigourney Weaver are basically like senior citizens now, so they must have been in the pod like 4,000 years.
Oh my god, yeah, exactly. Or they cryogenically freeze them like Demolition Man because they didn't want to have that kind of
Yeah.
uh, aging, despite being in a pod for X amount of
Well,
years.
they could always de-age them for the first few scenes, that like they did with. I mean, they did in The Irishman. So
Yeah, because that looked good with De Niro curb stomping a guy slower than Ohio drivers in the left hand lane on the fucking turnpike.
but yeah, yeah, no, I really I want to say to Disney, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you just erase Alien 3 and also erase Prometheus, everything's
Yeah,
gone. None of that shit happened. Here's the real Alien 3. I think people would run to the movie theaters. They wouldn't walk, they would run.
especially if you somehow got either Cameron and or Ridley Scott
Well,
on
not
board as
Ridley
well.
Scott, because he put the kibosh. They were gonna make an Alien that erased Alien 3, and he put the kibosh on it to make Alien Covenant.
Really? I
Neil
didn't know that.
Blomkamp wrote a script for Newt and Sigourney Weaver. That some actually and he had the option to kill it so he could make Alien Covenant, and he chose to enact his option.
And he did Alien Covenant. I didn't know. I didn't know. I had no idea.
Yeah, he did Alien Covenant, Ridley
Oh
Scott.
Jesus
So fuck
Christ.
him.
Oh. All right,
Maybe
Cameron, you're up.
Cameron, or maybe go to David Fincher. If we erase everything and let you do a proper Alien 3, what would you do?
Yeah.
You have full control.
Or we could really throw a real curveball out there and get Quentin Tarantino to do this as his 10th film.
Yeah, or fucking enrage everyone and get the guy who directed Thor Ragnarok, Taki
Oh,
Waka
it's
Waka.
with Waititi.
Yeah.
Or Guillermo del Toro. He's
Oh, the
he.
Russo brothers.
Yeah, that I heard the Gray Man is anything special. I read one of the books. It was boring for me, but Israel loved. He said it's. Some people are ranting and raving about how good the Gray Man is. Again, I just can't go. I've seen the trailers a million times ago. I've seen this. It's called The Bourne Identity, and I
Yeah,
was fine with that. I don't need to see another iteration of this.
I don't need to see. I'm kind of worried about the new Avengers film because they gave the guy who directed Shang-Chi, the next Avengers
I
film next
saw
year.
that and I hated Shang-Chi.
I hated Shang-Chi. I really think Marvel. I have a prediction. I'm gonna see what you think about this. I
All right.
think the new Lord of the Rings show is gonna be so bad and so off-putting that it's gonna cause like geek shit. I'm talking about Marvel, DC, Game of Thrones. All people just gonna be like, you know what? I'm not even gonna watch this shit anymore, and it's gonna cause a collapse. And pe- people are just not gonna go for this stuff anymore because this stuff is like so bad. It's not for the fans anymore. The casuals don't like it either. So basically, they're just making it for themselves. And I think people are just gonna be like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I don't need to watch this.
I didn't give a shit. I didn't even know they made a Lord of the Rings TV show. I
Mm.
was so bored with the Hobbit trilogy that came out
Yeah.
after. It was I fell asleep, and I'm not narcoleptic. I don't fall asleep in films. I fell asleep, and I know one of them might even been two. I couldn't tell you one thing except for they fight the dragon, which I know from the cartoon movie I saw when I was a kid. But
Yeah.
I mean, even the Lord of the Rings films, we did one on the podcast. And then we did the first one. The second one I remember seeing, and it was boring as shit. I like Return of the King. I haven't watched it in a while.
See, I've never rewatched Return of the King since the theaters. My favorite is the second one because I really like the action scene at the
I couldn't even. I just remember there was a ton of walking. That's all
end.
I remember is walking, walking. And then when Randall made fun of that in Clerks 2, I go, well, that's fucking brilliant because that's all that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am not the audience for the Lord of the Rings TV show. I
I
don't
don't
give
think
a shit.
anyone is the audience. It looks fucking horrendous.
Yeah, I never got any of the games. I didn't care. I saw the film, the first three. I go, all right, they're good. And
Mm-hmm.
The Hobbit after that, and I was just like, I'm out. I'm done. So yeah, that could be a play. I mean, look what DC did. Just imploded everything they were sitting on. Now watch Ezra Miller. We actually was in the morning show yesterday with Schultz and Joanne, and they were asking like, what do you think what's going to happen with Ezra Miller? Is that going to be enough to torpedo the Flash? I go, they are not going to torpedo a $250 million budget.
Oh yeah, he is. They're gonna try to put it out. I don't think people are gonna go see it though.
Yes, they will because they want to see Michael Keaton as Batman.
All right, we'll see. I don't know. I don't. I think that the controversy is so bad, and I think people are just over DC, and I think people are starting to become over Marvel. I think Black Panther will make money for the sympathy factor.
I have no desire to see that. The trailer did not do anything for me as well at all. Shazam 2, though, I'm in for. I like Shazam
Eh.
1. I'll see that. That comes out right
You
around
know what? I
Christmas
have no
time.
interest in Black
Black
Adam.
Panther, do? Neither do I. That
Black
looks so.
Adam looks fucking. First of all, I'm tired of villains getting their own movies. Not every character deserves his own fucking movie, and a villain should be a villain. I don't like if you go. We're making a new Doctor No. Oh, it's just gonna be about Doctor No. Go fuck yourself. I want to see him fight James Bond,
I mean, Magneto didn't even have his own fucking villain, and he's arguably
the
top
best one.
three. Joker's one.
No, no, no. I mean, but yes, of Marvel villains, Magneto should get his own film before anybody else.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, but
yeah,
overall,
and he doesn't have his own movie, but Craven's gonna get his own movie.
ew.
Oh, by the way, you want to get spoiled on something?
Go ahead.
The Madam Web movie they're making
I don't never know what I did. What that is.
was basically going to be Back to the Future. No, it's going to be Terminator. Someone goes back in time to kill Peter Parker's parents, and these two women with spider powers have to stop him.
Okay. Oh
So they
boy.
basically copied the Terminator with spider
Oh man. Again, go back like 10, what is it? No, 2022. Yeah, go back 10 years ago and go, you know what? You're gonna get sick of this shit.
Yeah, and I love
Star
this
Wars,
shit, and I'm
everything.
getting
Yeah.
sick of it. I remember when WandaVision came out, I would stay up till 3 in the morning to watch it. I went to bed last night. I woke up. The only reason I watched She-Hulk is someone texted me a spoiler, and I'm like, oh, it's only 30 minutes. I'm like, you know what? I better watch this before because people just assumed I saw it. So I watched it. It sucked. It was very unfunny, deeply unfunny. The CGI is garbage. Um, if you can't, the Hulk should be a character that's movie only. He is a big deal, and they've kind of completely devalued the Hulk with this. So they can go fuck themselves.
So Ruffalo's in this.
Yeah, he's in it a lot. Yeah,
Oh
it's
well,
not very good.
not that who's the villain?
They didn't. The first episode just her getting the powers.
Okay.
So it's only 30 minutes. So the other thing they do is in the comic book, She Hulk breaks the fourth wall, kind of like Deadpool does.
Okay.
And when Deadpool does, in the comic books, it's actually fun. And at least haven't read any of the recent, but it's so like jarring. She just turns to the camera, and starts talking to it. It's not even funny, and it's like, oh, dude, it's just bad. It's really, what it is. A lot of these, they're emphasizing comedy more, but it's not written by comedians or people that are fun.
Well, I mean, that's why Thor Ragnarok worked because he did it in sprinkles. Then
Yes.
Thor 4, which my daughter is making me take her to go see tomorrow because she wants to go see. She's 7. She likes Jane.
So you're gonna see it twice now.
I am going to see it twice.
Oh
But the
wow.
problem with Thor 4, they just kept hammering, pun intended, jokes nonstop. I go, no, it worked because it was sprinkled throughout Ragnarok. This was too heavy handed. We talked about this. So I have
Oh
to go
yeah.
sit through that shit again tomorrow. God damn it.
But here's the thing. Let's talk. Let's bring it back to Aliens. Aliens has some funny moments, but they're
Sprinkled.
sprinkled. They're earned, and they make when he goes game over, man, game over. Like that's earned, and people remember it because you basically just watched everyone get murdered for 20 minutes, and now
Right.
this guy has a funny line, and it stayed with everyone.
Right. And Deadpool, because he's a wise ass anyway, you understand why you give him that runway. But you're right. All the forced jokes, like, again, it's just like, we give you a taste. We love it. Oh, let's give him more. No, no. Stick with what it did. It worked in dribs and drabs. Stick with
Mm-hmm.
dribs and drabs. Don't fucking turn the fire hose on.
Yeah, this is my other thing too. Is like, so if Thor's jokey, if Hulk's jokey, if fucking I don't know, Moon Knight's jokey. When am I supposed to take this universe serious?
I mean, Deadpool 3 had better be the Naked Gun with all the jokes they better be coming out
Oh,
with.
I can already tell you, I already have the sense that Deadpool 3 is going to be deeply unfunny because for whatever reason they're hiring people with no senses of humor to write this shit, and it's not funny, it's not landing. Iron Man was a good example of a movie that was funny in certain parts, but when it had to be serious, it was serious.
Right.
That's what makes the funny moments work when there is some level of seriousness and pathos to them.
Tension breaker, exactly.
Yes, Back to the Future, same thing. It's funny, but there's moments like, all right, if the main character fucks this up,
That's his
everything's
ass.
fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kevin, where can people find you?
Oh, good. So you can find me at guttingthesacredcow.com. You can find us in the joke community room in the metaverse with Gutting the Sacred Cow and Fantasy Football Jibber Jabber. But this week on Gutting the Sacred Cow, our guest, David the producer, and his wife came on to talk about stripes and how much it sucks. Next week, Adam Sank joins us to tell us why he says Chinatown is overrated.
Wow.
The following week is There Will Be Blood with Nick. I forgot Nick's last name. I apologize
I will
to
listen
Nick.
to that argument, actually.
On what? There Will Be Blood?
Yeah, I liked it, but I can listen to an argument twice.
Yeah. Upcoming episodes, Noodles from the Offspring comes on to explain why National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation stinks. And
Noodles? You got noodles?
Fun. If you got time for a story, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I got time. Yeah.
This is I don't even know, 7-8 years ago at the Niagara Bar. I'm doing a show, and Anthony Capper is there too. We do a show, and I'm sitting there going, that fucking guy looks familiar. And I go up, I did well, and he's laughing in the front. And Capper goes up, comes back, he goes, "Is that Noodles from the Offspring?" There I go, that's what I fucking thought. So he goes out, smokes a cigarette, and they're in town because there's a concert in 2 days, and I bought tickets because I'm a big Offspring guy. And I'm like, hey man, I loved you. I love I love you. You're the soundtrack to my teenage years, for Christ's sake. And he's like, dude, you're hilarious. I said, yeah, I'm going to see you guys this week. He goes, you got tickets? I go, yeah. He goes, do you want to hang out backstage? I go, are you fucking serious? Yeah. So he gives me and Capper. Well, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. So he goes, hey, give me your number and I'll text you. I go, all right, the blow off thing. Oh, that's cool. I get to talk to him. That's fine.
Yeah.
I get a text the next day. Hey man, you're covered at Will Call. Go to Will Call. You got your passes. Go to Will Call. Passes. Tickets. I go, Jesus Christ. So I bring a buddy. Capper brings a buddy. We're hanging out. He's coming up there. Noodles is coming up, hanging out with us. Like, hey guys, what's going on? And you guys want some beers? Like, fuck yeah, we want beers. And then the bassist Todd, his girlfriend, was a playmate. She's getting us drinks too. I go, what kind of world is this? Yeah. So I had his number. So every time they come around, I text him and go, hey man, I got tickets. Just give me passes. I just want to come by and say hi. Never fails. Yeah, I got you covered, Kev. This past June, they were down at Pier 17. I go, hey, what's up? I got tickets. He's like, yeah, I got you covered. Go there, fucking all access pass. We're watching off on in the wings and shit. Go downstairs, having beers with them. And I pitch him and say, hey, I'd love for you to come to the podcast. He's like, yeah, that'd be great. I go, what would you think of doing? He goes like, you know what film I think is overrated? National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I go, holy shit. So
that's a great film to gut. That's a great guest to gut it.
Yeah, they say don't meet your heroes. He's the nicest guy I've ever met of stature. And the last one we just taped, it's coming out, Sandlot, with Mike Price, who writes for The Simpsons, also created F is for Family, and also Don Jameson's going to co-host with me on that. So got a lot of good stuff.
Don
coming up.
Jameson's fucking. I should actually have him on this thing.
Dude, another guy who couldn't be fucking nicer. Every
Yeah,
time I have to do the podcast, he was like, "Hey, you got time to come on my show?" I always do his show, and he's a great, great, great dude. Don, I fucking love Don. Can't say enough
I
great
got
things
a
about him.
book for you that I remember. I don't know if you remember. I did the 100 years, 100 books last year.
Yeah, I do.
I read a book. It came out, I think, in either it came out in 17 about the rise of Green Day and Offspring in the 90s.
Oh, really?
I'll get you the title. It's really cheap on Amazon. Do you read on Kindle or do you buy the books actually?
I'm that old fuck where I still buy the books because I like when people come over and go, "You've got a great collection of books." So I
Oh,
still.
okay. Yeah,
In
yeah,
fact,
yeah. Well, I'll
I
give you the name
just
and you can
bought.
order it. It is a great book.
I will.
It really goes into detail of why Offspring made history. I mean, they self-made that album, and they
And it got on
basically had.
Epitaph Records. I know though. I'm a huge SoCal punk guy. Bad
Oh,
Religion, Pennywise,
you're gonna
Offspring.
love this book.
Epitaph books,
Mhm.
Epitaph album. They put Epitaph on the fucking map with
Yes,
Smash. Yeah,
there's like it breaks down the road that guy went on to. Like no one anticipated the Offspring becoming this big. It's a really good book, and it goes like one chapter's Green Day, one chapter's Offspring. Then there's another band sprinkled, but it's really the story of how Green Day and Offspring changed punk forever.
definitely send that to me. In fact, I'm going on vacation next week. I bought the Heat 2 book. Michael Mann wrote that, so I'm
Oh yeah,
curious.
he's making that into a movie.
I hope so. Listen, it's gonna be tough because goddamn, I love Heat. It's probably one of the best gunfight battles you ever see. Some
Oh,
people say it's overrated. I think it's a solid
I
film.
no, 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 that's not over. That's a
I
great
think
one.
it's great. 100% agree with you. Yeah, give me
That's
the title of that book, Goots.
yeah.
Text
I'll
me
give you
that.
the title of the book, and I'll give you the title of the movie if you want to grab it. But yeah, I'll give the title as soon as we're done, guys. If you enjoy,
Yeah,
we're taking a break from Alien. We're gonna come back, but we're doing this chronological order. Next week is Predator One with Cisco. We're gonna cover Predator One. So
nice.
subscribe to the podcast, Gootzicity Pod. Follow me, Ray Goots, on Twitter and Instagram, and we'll see you next week for a Predator and Arnold. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, I got it, buddy. Always a pleasure.
See you next time, guys.